My name is Omoumi Ogorotimi, and I work at Gender Mobile Initiative as the lead director. Okay, yeah, so as far as Gender Mobile, has been in existence, we've done a lot of work along the lines of, promoting equitable access to education. And 1 week prior to our retreat, we had traveled to Nairobi, myself and two of my other colleagues, essentially to interact closely with other global partners of co-impact, to actually sort of really understand and also deepen our systems change approach. And it's really, really interesting to see how we've come to replicate the process and not the outcome. And replicating the process for us means walking our other colleagues through the process of also brainstorming, the accurate strategy for change or the relevant strategy for change. How do we move from the system of today to the system of the future, and what strategies required to achieve that, and what organization is needed to achieve that, knowing fully well that we're just one organization out of the pool of actors that will cause this change to happen. So it's really, good to see how my colleagues, brought their A game forward, how they fired up, all through the process. And I think we have our sleeves rolled for the work ahead. So I really look forward to the coming days. In the last 5 years, we've worked with institutions of higher learning to support them to strengthen their internal mechanisms through policy design and implementation. And I think that's one of the key levers in our systems change, design, to see that institutions of higher learning have the requisite policies to create safe spaces for people to learn and have educational experiences devoid of sexual harassment. So that piece of our work is one that we also really need to redefine and deepen as we try to see that we address the problem at the scale of the problem.
So the peak of the retreat for me was when we talked about project management, and we talked about gap analysis. We talked about what it represents, because that is very, very applicable to finance. We're comparing the actual versus the reality, right? Creating a variance report. Then we also talked about the Gantt chart, which I found very useful for project management. And the Gantt chart is all about employing the various resources at your disposal effectively and efficiently to eliminate slack time, because efficiency is the word for every one of us, right?
In one word, it has been very educative, and I liked that we're bonding better and connected with other people, other colleagues, and this experience has increased value to me, a lot of value, and that will cause better outputs at the office. Sure. My favorite session was system change, and that stood out for me because I used to think that people in themselves are the causes of flawlessness, but I now know that if a system is flawed, it affects the behavior of the staff and the people in that organization and the general output it gives to the public. So now I know that I should address symptoms, root causes, and not symptoms.
Okay, my most exciting moment in the course of this retreat would be when we had a session on pitching. Pitching is something we do in almost every aspect of our lives, because we have to, at some point or the other, sell an idea to a person or to an organization. So I never knew how to pitch. Even in interviews, I have to sell myself, why I should be taken for this position. So I have learned a lot of things, how I can make a pitch relatable by the potential funder or the potential organization I'm expecting support from. So that's been really, really exciting for me.
I learned storytelling, having to tell my own story, evoking emotions to create change and to get interest into what I do, get buy-in into the cause I believe in. Going forward for me, I believe I'm able to tell my story in a compelling way, getting my audience to feed into the emotions I feel, and also buying into my idea of creating change in my respective community. Going forward, and I will translate my learnings from this retreat, go back to the community and create sustainable change in Ekiti State that will translate into a better nation collectively.
The retreat is like an important activity that needs to be carried out yearly for the development and growth of our organization. So we actually count it very important, we take it seriously, and we try to see how we can have that executed every year. Why? Because it helps us to reflect on the previous year, what we did better, what we should do, and how the organization, what point we are in the organization. And as well, it's also as I said, for reflection, a moment for us to learn from each other. We have Ekiti team, we have Abuja team. So it's like a linking and learning point for us, where we learn the activities or the project being implemented in Ekiti as well as Abuja. People learn from each other, because as far as I'm concerned, we do not know it all. You come to a point where someone that understands an in-depth knowledge of project management brings his own knowledge, at the same time helps us to enhance what we already know. So it's a moment for learning, relearning, and unlearning some of those things.
GMI, part of our strategies is policy intervention, where we support tertiary institutions of learning to design and implement policies that speak to addressing sexual harassment in a comprehensive and holistic manner. So provide technical support to these institutions in the design and implementation of policies, and that is where my role predominantly lies. The retreat has been quite a refreshing experience. It's given me the opportunity to bond with team members that I don't usually see, because we are based in different locations, and then for some of these team members I've met some, like this is my first time of meeting some, while some it's been a while I saw them. So it's an opportunity for me to like bond with my colleagues and also to gain new learning. So it's been quite a refreshing and interesting experience for me so far. My favorite session would be systems change. Yes, because it brought a lot of teamwork to the fore, because we had a lot of breakout sessions where team members got to discuss about various concepts, and it was interesting to see like the healthy competition that went on between team members. So yeah, that was my best session.
To do, and I'm happy that I am personally fired up. My colleagues are fired up for it. So moving from the retreat, we're going to further our design process. So from here, we're going to be, designing a strategy for change. Moving from here, we are going to get to work. We've identified a whole lot more actors, that's informal actors, people who are not statutorily mandated to get some things done, but they wield enough power to make the change to happen. So we're going to be engaging them and also galvanize the ecosystem of actors. Gender Mobile alone cannot do the work, so this is everyone actually coming to terms with the reality before us and the task ahead.